Shankran, AI in itself is very complicated one. Okay, it's a very complicated technology. If you look at the core of it, okay, we have the data set, we have the model, and we have the binding code. Okay, now the complexity is introduced right from the beginning. Okay, let's say the data ingestion stage. Okay, there are four phases: data ingestion, phase two, training, testing, and validation. Phase three is going to be the deployment, and phase four is the retirement or decommissioning. Now, when you look at the phase one, where the data ingestion actually happens, the data set might be internal to us. Okay, we might create the data set. Okay, the data set that is used for training, testing, and validation. Ideally, it should be a synthetic data because the developers and testers who are going to have a look at the data set during training, testing, and validation might not be authorized to look at the production data. Okay, you can take an old production data also, which doesn't have a lifetime. For example, if you're a bank, you want to test the application. Okay, you can go for the credit card data set. Okay, which is 15 years old, which is not valid anymore. So the life of the data is not there. Okay, we can use it for training, testing, and validation. So the data set that is used for training, testing, and validation is something that can be internal. You can create it internally by using synthetic data generation tools like Fakey, etc. Or you can ask a third party to prepare it, or you can do it your own self by doing the survey or web scraping, whatever you want to do. You can actually do it. Okay, the model, okay, something that you can develop yourself. For example, the first baby that comes out, okay, the first baby is the data set baby that comes out of the data ingestion stage. Okay, so that baby also comes up, it's grown to a certain extent, then comes another person called as algorithm. Okay, algorithm and this data set is going to give a new baby called model. Okay, the algorithm, okay, is something which could be external. Okay, algorithm and the data set, your data set could be external or internal. Algorithm and your data set is going to give a model. This procedure of getting the dataset algorithm to give a model can be done by your own self, or you can ask a third party to do it. Third party might already have a model, like Microsoft Copilot. They might already have a model, or you might go for a managed service provider to create a model for you. Okay, now, so there is a data set, there is a binding code. Okay, you could have the developers, okay, in your own organization to do it, or the developers are someone who you can outsource it, or you can buy in from another organization to actually do it. Now, if you look at the complexity, we have the data set. Data set could be created by their own company or could be created by a third party. Data set could be hosted by your own in your own infrastructure, or you can host it with a cloud service provider or a managed service provider. Okay, the model could be developed by your own organization or a third party, or you can use, okay, build, partner, or buy. Okay, buy like commercial off the shelf, or you can partner with a third party to use their model, like Microsoft Copilot. Okay, so the model is something that you are buying like commercial off the shelf from a third party, or you are partnering with another organization, okay, which is like an Microsoft Copilot. Or model is something that you are building yourself. It will take some time, but it's your intellectual property. Everything is all settled. So the data set could be prepared by yourself or by a third party. The hosting platform could be your own infrastructure or the CSP or MSP. Model could be developed by your own organization, or you could ask an MSP to do it for you, or you can use the existing model. The hosting of the model could be done within your own infrastructure or on a cloud or the MSP. Now, even if you're going to go for a cloud, it could be one with one cloud service provider, the other one the other cloud service provider, or one with one managed service provider, other one with the other managed service provider, or you can do a mix and match data with the CSP and model with the MSP, and data with the MSP and model with the CSP. Now, this adds on lot of complexity to the artificial intelligence management for a chief AI officer, chief AI security officer, governance officer, and risk officer. Okay, so third party risk is applicable, security risk is applicable. Okay, the native risk, inherent risks are all applicable. It also brings in a lot of work for the legalities. Okay, the chief compliance officer, the legal team will also get onto it. Adding on to this particular complexity, we have got the South Korean law coming up on 22nd of January 2026, and the European Union AI Act, for especially for the high risk system, is going to get live by 2nd of August 2026, this particular year. So we are all ready, okay, with the AI, where already there is a complexity, and AI is adding one more level of complexity. The AI layer is going to add, okay, the security or vulnerabilities, okay, with respect to the model, with respect to the data set, with also respect to the code. Okay, the vulnerabilities are there. AI is surrounded by the web application vulnerability, which is surrounded with the operating system vulnerability, hardware vulnerability, network vulnerability, supply chain vulnerability, and human vulnerability. We need to take every step of caution to ensure that if you're going to go for an AI transformation, all these things needs to be considered before we go live. Okay, and every day we are getting new attacks. Okay, there are attacks that are there that are thwarted. There are attacks that are extremely short-lived, like reprompt injection attacks. And recently we have a meta context injection attack. Tomorrow we will have something else. Go for secure Google Secure AI framework, OWASP top 10, ML vulnerability, LLM vulnerability, NHA vulnerability, NIST adversarial in machine learning. Lots of attacks are listed. Lots of attacks are not listed because they're all new. So every day we are learning a lot from the security attacks. Okay, there are maturity models. You have got an Accenture AI maturity model, Gartner AI maturity model, OWASP maturity model, Microsoft responsible AI maturity model. Every company is coming with its own maturity model. There are a lot of governance frameworks. The governance is all based on ISO 38500 with IT governance, 38505 for data governance, 38507 for AI governance. Okay, join us for Certified Chief AI Officer, Certified Chief AI Security Officer, Risk Officer, and Governance Officer to have a deep dive into all this with a supporting implementation kit. Mail us on training at itribulis.org.uk, or you can WhatsApp me on +91 99405 87544. Cheers, then. This is Subramaniam Shankaran signing off for now. Cheers.